So I just want to bring up, me and Luke were talking about this. This fucks over the Raptors. Because we all thought they fired Nick Nurse specifically to hire Ime Udoka. And now, who are they going to hire? They're going to just pull a Nick Nurse again and just hire within?
Well, Nick Nurse should have never been fired.
Oh, yeah. We agree on that. Yeah, of course.
I don't. That's a good point. I never really thought about Ime actually going to Toronto, but I definitely never thought about Ime actually going to Houston. Like, we talk about it. You dream, you fantasize of Ime Udoka being your head coach, but who would have thought? And we also got Jaylen Brown. It's crazy. What a great day for the Houston Rockets.
You got Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening. I think you mean you got James Harden.
I actually am all set. I don't want James Harden even in the slightest. I have Jaylen Brown because he's coming on over. So,
dude, we all know Jaylen Brown's going to Atlanta.
Not anymore. Are you watching the Hawks play basketball right now? I don't know. I think he might. He'll do that later in his career. He'll head back home. He's coming to Houston with Ime Udoka.
My girlfriend just texted me, should I go to Mexico? And I respond, when? That's a big question. Yeah. I also have a huge fear. I also have a huge fear of going to Mexico. But Ime Udoka.
You ever been to Mexico?
To like the islands, Cancun. Like tourist traps. I've never actually been like.
Never been to Mexico City. Mexico City is on the rise.
Have you been? No, you haven't. Okay, we're talking about Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka, with the fact that Ime Udoka is here,
it is on the rise.
I do want to say Jalen Green, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, and Jayshawn Tate. If you guys want to put in bets, prop bets right now, defensive team members, all defensive team members, Jayshawn Tate and Tari Eason next year. Literally, Jayshawn Tate is going to be the Grant Williams, if not better, for this team. And then you have Tari Eason, who's going to be like a defensive player of the year candidate. He's just going to be like guarding 1 through 5 for Ime Udoka. You got yourself. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to make it work. Ime Udoka is the one who's going to make Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. look good. And then I feel like Ime is going to create this scheme that's going to allow Alperen Şengün to not be exposed defensively, where like him and Jabari are like this front court where Jabari's more of the rim protector. Alperen Şengün maybe steps out a little bit more. I think there's faith in this team. I think they could be a play-in team next year. I'm not going to sit here and be like they're going to turn it around like the Boston Celtics. Nick?
Where does Wembanyama fit in to all this?
I don't think that Wembanyama is going to the Rockets. I don't believe it. I personally think the team that's going to get it is the Spurs. The NBA is a narrative, and what narrative fits the best that the best European prospect in the last 20 years? Second best, or arguably, I don't know where you put Luka, but like if Luka or Victor, who's in front, but it makes sense that he goes to San Antonio. I'm sorry. The NBA has propagated like this guy on a pedestal, and they don't give the number 1 overall pick to teams that tank. The Rockets and Pistons blatantly tanked. One could say the Spurs actually tried to win games. They just got decimated by injuries, and their players were rookies.
I would buy no stock into that statement in the slightest form. These Rockets suck. So did the San Antonio Spurs. But
who's the better team? Rockets versus Spurs. Who would win that?
One team is Jalen Green, so that's a couple points for the other team.
Yeah, but Jalen Green can't finish inside, and there's more veterans on the Spurs.
Exactly.
The Spurs have vets.
No, I'm all for the Jalen Green trash talk. I think
I like Jalen Green, but the fact that Jalen Green shot 40% or 45% on 2% shots, like 2-pointers, like anything inside the 3-point shot, the average like guard at his position shoots like I think it's like 55% at the rim is the best way. I think Jalen Green was the worst in the league. At one point, I think he was at 37%. He finished the season at like 40 something. Like cannot finish at the rim. I like Jalen Green. I think he'll be an all-star? Yes, he can be an all-star guy. Steven Stiles did not teach him how to fucking be an offensive basketball player, nor did he teach him defense.
maybe Ime Udoka or is gonna help a buck. Because Jalen Green needs all the help he can get.
He's good. He's good. I mean,
he's a great player. He's
still the best player on the Rockets, like right now. No, not from a Şengün. Who's Penguin Şengün?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No. I think Şengün has the most potential. But okay, let me rephrase that. Şengün is the best player on the Rockets, yes, and has the most potential. But I think Jalen Green right now, he is the guy that on this team right now who could more consistently take over games. Like Şengün can take over games, but it's not the way that Jalen Green. Like Jalen Green's that Chris Middleton bailout guy.
I mean, that's fine. This will be the year. Well, Jaylen Brown will be our number one. You'll have Jalen Green, and then you'll have Alperen Şengün, Jabari Smith Jr., and obviously Victor Wembanyama. So it's going to be a loaded team next year. I do think they're on the right track to making the play. Here's the thing. I think Cyro's a little biased here for some reason with the San Antonio Spurs. I'm just getting some draft history going on right now. But just two names to refresh your guys' memory, Hakeem and Yao. So, yeah, those were first overall picks. So it's not just, the San Antonio Spurs getting these European or just the number one pick in general. So, yeah, I buy no stock in it. Here we go.
I think the Bulls.
John Lucas.
That'd be cool. That would
Ralph
be the only
Simpson.
thing that fixed the Bulls. Is if the Bulls somehow get it.
Yao Ming. Yeah. So.
No, fuck you. Fuck you. No, that's just. It's like just such a stupid logic right there. That wasn't like a valid argument. Okay, we're not pulling. Oh, you know what? Let me go stretching my ass and let me tell you the year George Mikan was fucking drafted and use that as an argument.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking.
You're saying these guys, the Spurs, the Rockets get the number one pick. I'm just saying.
When was the last time the Spurs had the number one pick?
I had to be like 52.
That's the thing. Yeah, I appreciate Tim Duncan.
Okay. Again, I gotta. When did Tim Duncan get drafted? 1997. When did Yao Ming get drafted? 2002. All right. What's next? 5-year difference? Well, yeah. Well, it's going to San Antonio.
I'm just saying.
Houston's the fourth biggest city in America.
That is
true. If the pick is rigged, it's going to Houston.
The pick, dude, the Sixers tanked for 7 years. They only got the number one overall pick once. They had to trade for it the second time.
If the NBA draft is rigged, Houston will have the number
It's one. Not necessarily rigged. It just doesn't give the number one pick to teams that are blatantly tanking. The Rockets have tanked for 3-4 seasons. They're not going to give it.
Suck.
While the Spurs this is the first season the Spurs actually tried to tank. Every other year, the Spurs tried to make the play-in.
You just told me 5 minutes ago that the San Antonio Spurs are a good team and that they didn't try to tank, but now
they did try to tank. They just didn't have talent.
But you just said this was the first year they tried to tank. So which one is it?
In the eyes of the Spurs, you could say this was them trying to tank. But if you looked at it, they were kind of going the Pacers route. They did the same thing as the Pacers
team in the NBA, and it's not even close. It's not that
they pulled the Pacers route. They did the same. Would you say the Pacers tanked this year?
The Pacers suck.
But the Pacers were almost a play-in team. The Spurs did the same thing as the Pacers.
The Bulls suck.
The Hornets and the thing is, it's either going to be the Hornets or the Spurs. Because the Hornets and the Spurs both try to win games, but their rosters weren't good enough.
This is the worst
or they had
I've ever
injuries.
heard. No, I don't even.
All right, we're changing.
Good thing the lottery balls decide. That's the only decision.
When is that? Let's see.
It's the 19th because I'm waiting to get the response to be there. Your boy might be
May?
In May. Yeah, your boy might be in the room.
Nice.
There's a less chance on the draft's the 27th.
Where's the lottery selection?
Chicago.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like it's always.
I'm in your neck of the woods. So the plan is, I've registered. I'm waiting for the response from the NBA's to accept my registration. But I've registered for the G League Combine, which is like the shit prospects. That if you do good at the G League Showcase, you get invited to the NBA Scouting Combine. And I also registered for the Scouting Combine. I'm more likely to get those passes. I also registered as a part of that to be in the room when they do the lottery.
Oh, you gotta be there. You gotta be
But
there.
I'm assuming that it's a lot easier to get past